If you're still brushing your teeth before you go to the store when you wear a mask, you're doing the pandemic wrong. This is the Social Minute. Good evening, I'm Deece Casillas. We begin with animal news, as 5 African parrots were recently removed from viewing at a wildlife park after they wouldn't stop cursing in front of people. But it turns out they were just angry because someone left the presidential debates on the TV. Speaking of the presidential debates, the big controversy was that America hasn't been able to find the parents of over 400 children that were detained at the border, with Trump's reasoning being that the parents weren't bringing the kids across, that it was coyotes. Great. Now coyotes are taking Mexicans' jobs? I guess we finally know how you Americans feel. There is a ton of hypocrisy in the matter, though, I will admit. Because listen, if the government puts Mexicans in cages, it's a controversy. But if the UFC puts Mexicans in cages, it's a pay-per-view event. And in North Idaho recently, a group of teachers actually got in trouble because they dressed up as a border wall for Halloween with the words "Make America Great" written across it. And I think I speak for all Mexicans when I say, when we said we were looking for a better place to live, none of us were thinking Idaho. And now, sports news, brought to you by Wishful Stinking. Now you decide what your farts smell like with Wishful Stinking. The Seattle Storm recently won their 4th WNBA title, tying them for the most titles in the league's history since its inception in 1997. But the big story has been this infographic floating around, showing the disparity between men's and women's pay in professional basketball. The reality is, women's basketball is like women's voting. It's fun to watch them try, but leave it up to the men that can actually do it. I'm just kidding. The government doesn't count any of our votes anymore. But WNBA players are extremely talented athletes and deserve to be compensated so. Although what this infographic doesn't reveal is that the WNBA's annual revenue as a league is about $60 million, while the NBA's annual revenue as a league is about $8 billion. So the reality is, players are getting paid equally relative to the income of the league. The biggest disparity between the sports comes in gambling, because in the NBA you can gamble as much as you want on a single game, whereas in the WNBA, you can only gamble up to $500 maximum on any single game. Which is probably a good thing and deters insider trading and means players won't gamble on their own games because no WNBA player can afford to lose $500. But really guys, these players deserve the accolades and appropriate compensation. The most interesting part about this infographic that's been floating around though, most of the people complaining can't name 3 WNBA players. If you're going to complain about it, you have to at least do something about it and support them too. For the record, I watched more WNBA games this year than I did NBA games. I've been to countless WNBA games live in my life, and I've got this sweet Los Angeles Sparks hoodie that I wear all the time. The only thing more I could do to support the WNBA is buy a franchise. But I don't have an extra $1,700 right now. And now, the moral of the week. They say a man is committed in a relationship when he deletes his Tinder account, but that's not true. It's when he deletes his Pornhub Premium subscription. And with Halloween coming up, we here at the Social Minute had a quick PSA for you and your family to help enjoy the holiday. Take a look.
Hi, this is Tony, and this is how you eat candy corn.
Akbar! Allah Akbar! Allah Akbar!
Gentlemen, Chairman of the Board, thank you for coming to this meeting. I'd just like to tell you our third quarter numbers are in, and we are crushing it in the sales out there. Have you seen our figures? Candy corn is back. First Christmas bonus since 1929 for all you guys. We need to double our production immediately. And finally, in Massachusetts, 911 has been getting flooded with calls from beachgoers who are seeing giant sunfish migrating up the coast, and they ask them to please stop calling in. But really it's odd because usually white people don't call the police on anything else that's white. For the Social Minute, I've been Deece Casillas. Good night, folks.